Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CTK1 and welcome to the top 10 hardest legendaries to collect. And yes, I know, very original. We already did a top 10 Pokemon in general list, so I figured we might as well do a legendary Pokemon list because that might as well happen. Before we start, make sure to subscribe because you guys have been really killing it with the subscribe button lately, and we are aiming for 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. And if that's going to happen, we have to
shift into maximum overdrive. Hi-ya!
Just as a quick side note, we are only counting Pokemon classified as legendaries. Therefore, the Ultra Beasts, the Paradox Pokemon, and especially Mythicals do not count for this list. Because if we counted Mythicals, then I'd have to talk about Meltan, Melmetal, and Pokeball Magearna again, and I don't want to do that. Number 10, Solgaleo and Lunala. Now, Pokemon Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon basically took everything we knew about legendaries and threw it out the window. Specifically about legendaries evolving by introducing Cosmog. Now, their evolution method is relatively easy, it's just the try and true level up system. But what makes it annoying is that the only two moves they know are Splash and Teleport. And he evolves at 43 and then again at 53. Unless you have a lot of rare candies, that's going to take a while. Number 9, Kubfu, Urshifu Single Strike, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Now, Pokemon Sword and Shield introduced a lot of firsts for the series, namely the introduction of DLC. Not only are these Kung Fu Panda wannabes locked towards the Isle of Armor DLC, but they're also save file exclusive, which means you can only have one of the Urshifus per save file. It's more tedious than annoying, but the fact still remains that you need to spend extra money just to get these two bears. Number 8, Galarian Zapdos and Articuno. Before you ask, no, I did not forget about Galarian Moltres. There's just a reason why he's not included. Sun and Moon were the first Pokemon games to introduce regional forms, but Pokemon Sword and Shield basically took that concept and took it 2 steps further by introducing regional evolutions and the game's first ever regional legendaries. To get to the point, you can only unlock them by doing a side quest throughout the Crown Tundra, where you basically play legendary hide and go seek because you can find Articunos somewhere within the Crown Tundra, and you have to find Galarian Zapdos somewhere within the main game's wild area. Number 7, Glastrier and Spectrier. Don't you just love those DLC Pokemon that are save file exclusives? But these are not your normal just trade them online Pokemon. Oh no, they fuse with Calyrex, and the annoying part is that when two Pokemon are fused, you cannot trade the fused Pokemon. This is majorly inconvenient because if you want the other horse, you'll most likely have to open another save file and then get it that way. But the most annoying part about that is that you can only face Calyrex if you're the Galar champion, which means you have to finish the entire base game story just to get one stupid horse. Number 6, Necrozma. Apparently in its original game, you can only get Necrozma by finishing the game and then going to this specific patch of grass and then trying to catch it that way. But it's really hard because, well, he has a really low catch rate. He has like a 20% catch rate if you use a timer ball, and even then. Number 5, Zygarde. Once again, apparently in its original game, you have to go through an elaborate system in this specific tunnel and just to find him, and the reason he's so far up the list is because, well, you can get lost in this cave, so just trying to find him without getting lost is a challenge of its own. And then you have to catch it. Oh gosh. Number 4, Enamorus. God dang it, just when I thought I got rid of you. Sure, she's not an evolution, but she's still extremely annoying. After you activate the cutscene, you then have to play a demented version of Legendary Hide and Go Seek. The only difference is Enamorus has pink tornadoes, and like Sonic, she goes fast. So once you become a god tier ninja and somehow get behind her back, you then have to Just throw a bunch of mud balls to get their guard down, and then you're able to fight it. And even then, you still have to catch it. Number 3, Zacian. Now, if you give a legendary dog a really cool secondary form, then you got a really awesome Pokemon. If you give it a really cool steel type move, then you got a broken Pokemon. And then if you give it literally the best typing in Pokemon, then you got a really, really, really busted Pokemon that is extremely hard to get if you only have Shield. Number 2, the Disc Pokemon. Okay, now this is technically cheating, but technically speaking, the fact that we even know its existence is already proof enough that it's probably going to be really hard to find, considering it's the only third legendary Pokemon tied to the main story that will have to be introduced in DLC. Honorable mentions! We don't have any. Yeah, I should probably mention that my first ever Pokemon game was Pokemon Shield, my second one was Legends Arceus, and my third one is Pokemon Scarlet. And unless you count Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite, those are the only Pokemon games I've played. So yeah, I don't really know that many legendaries. That's why today's honorable mentions will be up to you. That's right. Post in the comments who you think should get an honorable mention, and I'll most likely reply, or probably won't. Who knows? And number 1, Galarian Moltres. I told you there was a reason. Now, like his brothers, you have to get him through the Crown Tundra DLC, and then you have to play Legendary Hide and Go Seek. The only difference is Galarian Moltres hides in the Isle of Armor DLC, which means he is currently the one and only Pokemon that requires 2 DLCs in order to get. Suck it, Ricochet. Now sure, this isn't really a big issue if you're a Chad and bought the expansion pass, but it still doesn't change the fact that you need 2 DLCs just to get this one bird. He is a sick looking bird, but you still need to spend a lot of money just to get him. And that is my list. Make sure to like, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.